Have you ever wanted to see someone or something really badly, but you couldn't because of a crowd, your size, or just the way things were? Imagine standing in a busy street, people moving all around you, voices shouting greetings, merchants calling their wares, and you trying to spot someone very special. That was exactly how Zacchaeus, a man who worked as a tax collector, felt one sunny day in the town of Jericho. Zacchaeus was not very tall, and he often felt invisible among the crowds. People hurried past him, and he struggled to see what was happening beyond the pressing throng of townsfolk. But there was someone coming, someone Zacchaeus had heard stories about, someone who healed the sick, taught amazing lessons, and spoke words of kindness and love. His name was Jesus. Zacchaeus was curious. More than curious, he was determined. He wanted to see Jesus, to hear him, to witness the miracles he had only heard in whispers and stories. But there was a problem: the crowd was huge, and Zacchaeus was small. No matter how he tried to push through, he couldn't see past the taller people. His excitement turned into frustration. How can I see him? He wondered. I must see him. Then, Zacchaeus had an idea. A bold, clever, and slightly funny idea. He ran ahead of the crowd to a nearby sycamore tree, a strong tree with wide branches perfect for climbing. Heart pounding and determination shining in his eyes, he scrambled up the trunk until he was sitting among the leaves, high above the ground. From there, he could see everything: the people, the bustling streets, and most importantly, Jesus, walking slowly toward the city. Jesus noticed Zacchaeus immediately. Even though Zacchaeus was small and perched in a tree, Jesus looked up and said something extraordinary. Zacchaeus, come down. I must stay at your house today. Imagine Zacchaeus' heart leaping. The crowd was amazed. Jesus, the teacher, the healer, the miracle worker, wanted to visit Zacchaeus personally. Zacchaeus hurried down, nearly tripping in his excitement, and led Jesus to his home. Along the way, people whispered and murmured. Why is he going to Zacchaeus' house? They asked. He's a tax collector. A man who takes money from us, often unfairly, and who is known for being greedy. In those times, tax collectors were not liked. They worked for the Romans, collecting money from their own people, often taking more than necessary to keep for themselves. Zacchaeus was wealthy, yes, but he was also unpopular. Despite the whispers, Jesus entered Zacchaeus' home with kindness and warmth. The atmosphere changed. Zacchaeus felt a strange mix of awe, nervousness, and hope. Here was someone who saw him, not just as a tax collector, not just as a man who had taken money, but as a person worthy of love, attention, and guidance. Something remarkable happened in Zacchaeus' heart. Seeing Jesus, hearing his words, and feeling his presence made Zacchaeus think about his life. He remembered the people he had cheated, the money he had taken unfairly, and the selfish choices he had made. His heart, once focused on wealth and status, began to change. He said to Jesus, with sincerity and determination, Lord, I will give half of my possessions to the poor, and if I have cheated anyone, I will pay them back 4 times the amount. Jesus looked at Zacchaeus with love and said something profound. Today, salvation has come to this house, because this man, too, is a child of God. Imagine the joy, relief, and transformation Zacchaeus felt. His life, once centered on greed and fear of people's judgment, was now filled with hope, generosity, and faith. This story teaches us many important lessons. It shows that God sees each of us, even when we feel small, overlooked, or unworthy. It reminds us that no matter our past mistakes, we can change, make amends, and choose to live in kindness and honesty. It also shows that Jesus looks at the heart, not the outward appearance, and that his love has the power to transform anyone, no matter who they are or what they have done. Imagine Zacchaeus walking through Jericho after that day. People might have been surprised, watching a man known for being greedy and selfish give to the poor, restore what he had taken, and live a life of generosity. They might have wondered what happened to him. But they could see the answer in his actions. His life had changed, because of an encounter with Jesus, because of courage to see him, and because of openness to transformation. Even today, this story inspires us to act with courage and kindness. Sometimes, we might feel too small, too shy, or too overlooked to do something important. But Zacchaeus reminds us that no one is too small to make a difference, no one is too lost to be found, and no one is beyond the reach of God's love. Just as Zacchaeus climbed a tree to see Jesus, we too can take steps, even bold or funny ones, to seek goodness, truth, and love in our lives. And the story does not end there. Zacchaeus' transformation is a reminder that when we choose honesty, generosity, and kindness, we reflect God's heart in our own actions. We can care for others, make amends, and bring joy, hope, and faith to the people around us. Each small act of love and courage, like Zacchaeus' decision to see Jesus and change his life, can ripple out, touching lives in ways we may never fully see. So, whenever you feel small, overlooked, or unsure, remember Zacchaeus in the tree, craning his neck to see Jesus. Remember that God sees you, that Jesus calls each of us by name, and that our choices, big or small, can lead to transformation, hope, and joy. Every day is a chance to climb higher, to see more clearly, and to open our hearts to love, kindness, and faith.
If you love this story, please like and subscribe so we can share more adventures. Yeah, boy!